Hello, I'm Dr. James Chen, and after 65 years in medicine, I've discovered something remarkable that I need to share with you today. If you're feeling the effects of aging, the constant joint pain, the declining energy, or that frustrating mental fog, what I'm about to reveal could transform your life. These symptoms aren't just an inevitable part of getting older, and the solution might be simpler than you'd imagine. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 72-year-old former teacher who visited my clinic last year. She came in barely able to walk, struggling with severe joint pain and exhaustion. Her once-beloved garden was becoming overgrown because she couldn't bend down to tend to her flowers anymore. Like many of my patients, she believed this was just part of growing older. But within weeks of showing her 3 specific pressure points on her body, she experienced a remarkable transformation. Today, she's not only gardening again, but teaching Tai Chi at her local community center. You might be thinking, pressure points, that sounds too simple to be true. I understand your skepticism. When I first discovered these touch points during my research in traditional Chinese medicine 30 years ago, I was skeptical too. But after decades of clinical observation and studying the latest research in neuroscience and cellular regeneration, I can explain exactly why these specific points are so powerful. What I'm about to share isn't just another health trend or quick fix. These 3 touch points work by activating what I call the body's natural rejuvenation centers. They're like hidden switches that can help reverse the aging process when stimulated correctly. The best part? You can do this at home, and it takes just minutes a day. Before we dive into the science and the specifics, comment below where in the world you're watching from. Let me share something that might surprise you. These touch points aren't in some hard-to-reach place. They're literally at your fingertips, and when activated properly, they can trigger a cascade of healing responses throughout your body. I've spent decades refining these techniques, observing thousands of patients, and documenting their remarkable recoveries. Think about how our bodies worked when we were younger. Everything functioned smoothly. Our joints were flexible, our minds sharp, and our energy seemed limitless. What many don't realize is that our bodies still have this potential. We just need to know how to unlock it. The first touch point is located at the base of your skull, in a small depression where your neck meets your head. This isn't just any random spot. It's directly connected to your central nervous system and plays a crucial role in regulating stress hormones that accelerate aging. When I showed this point to Robert, a 68-year-old retiree who was struggling with memory issues, he was amazed at how such a simple technique could make such a difference. Dr. Chen, he told me during his follow-up visit, I'd been accepting my forgetfulness as inevitable, but after 3 weeks of stimulating this point, I'm remembering names again, and my wife says I'm much more present in our conversations. The second touch point is found on the inner wrist, about 3 finger widths up from the wrist crease. This point is fascinating because it connects directly to your body's circulation system. When properly stimulated, it helps enhance blood flow and promotes cellular repair throughout your body. Sarah, an 81-year-old pianist, had given up playing due to stiff, painful hands. After incorporating this point into her daily routine, she regained enough mobility to return to her beloved piano. The third point, positioned on the inner ankle, might seem unrelated to aging, but it's perhaps the most powerful of all. This point helps balance key hormones that influence our biological age. It's like a reset button for your body's aging clock. When these 3 points are used together, they create what I call a rejuvenation triangle, a powerful system that helps restore your body's natural healing abilities. What makes these points so effective is their connection to what modern science calls the neuroendocrine system, the complex network that controls everything from our stress response to our cellular repair mechanisms. When stimulated correctly, these points trigger a cascade of beneficial responses throughout your body. I've found that many of my patients are initially surprised by how these pressure points can affect areas of the body that seem unrelated. But think of your body like a complex electrical system, where touching one wire can light up a room on the other side of the house. Similarly, these touch points activate neural pathways that connect to various systems throughout your body. Take John, a 78-year-old grandfather who came to me with severe knee pain and stiffness. He couldn't get down on the floor to play with his grandchildren anymore, something that broke his heart. Traditional treatments had provided only temporary relief. When I showed him how to properly stimulate these 3 points, especially the ankle point, he was understandably doubtful, but he was desperate enough to try anything. 6 weeks later, John walked into my office with tears in his eyes. "Dr. Chen," he said, "yesterday I spent an hour building block towers with my youngest grandchild. I haven't been able to do that in years." What moved me most wasn't just his physical improvement, but how this simple technique had given him back precious moments with his family. Now, it's crucial to understand that the effectiveness of these points depends entirely on proper stimulation. You can't just press randomly and expect results. The pressure should be firm but gentle, using a circular motion for about 30 seconds on each point. Think of it like tuning a radio. You need to find exactly the right frequency to get a clear signal. For the base of the skull point, use your thumbs to apply pressure while keeping your head slightly tilted forward. You should feel a warm, slightly tingly sensation. That's how you know you found the right spot. For the wrist point, use your opposite thumb to press and rotate, especially during times of mental fatigue. The ankle point requires a bit more precision. It's located in the depression just behind the inner ankle bone, and it's best stimulated before bedtime. What's fascinating is how these points work together synergistically. While each point has its specific benefits, when used in combination, they create what I call a rejuvenation circuit. It's like turning on multiple switches that power up your body's natural healing abilities. One of my patients, a 69-year-old retired nurse named Patricia, described it perfectly. "It's as if these points wake up parts of my body that had gone to sleep. I can feel the energy flowing again, just like when I was younger." Before I show you the exact technique for maximum benefit, I need to emphasize something crucial. While these pressure points are generally safe for most people, there are some important precautions to consider. If you have blood clotting disorders, severe osteoporosis, or are currently undergoing cancer treatment, please consult your healthcare provider before starting this technique. Additionally, pregnant women should avoid the ankle point entirely. Let me demonstrate the precise method I've developed over decades of practice. For the skull base point, you'll want to lie down or sit comfortably. Place your thumbs at the base of your skull, about 2 inches apart. Apply gentle pressure and make small circular motions for exactly 30 seconds. You might feel a slight warming sensation. That's perfectly normal and indicates you're stimulating the point correctly. The wrist point requires a different approach. Locate the point 3 finger widths up from your wrist crease on the inner arm. Use your opposite thumb to press and hold for 10 seconds, then make clockwise circles for another 20 seconds. This point can be particularly effective in the morning or when you're feeling mentally foggy. For the ankle point, this is where many people make a mistake. The exact location is crucial. Find the depression behind your inner ankle bone. When you press this point, you should feel a slight tenderness, but not pain. Apply pressure for 45 seconds on each side, preferably before bedtime. I've found that timing matters significantly. The skull point works best in the morning, the wrist point during the day when you need mental clarity, and the ankle point before sleep. This creates what I call a circadian activation pattern that helps reset your body's aging clock. Remember Elizabeth, the 75-year-old artist I mentioned earlier? She combined these techniques with gentle stretching and noticed something remarkable. Not only did her joint pain decrease, but her sleep improved dramatically. For the first time in years, she told me, I'm waking up feeling refreshed instead of stiff and achy. To enhance the effectiveness of these points, I recommend doing some gentle neck rolls before working on the skull point, and soaking your feet in warm water for 5 minutes before activating the ankle point. These simple preparations help relax the surrounding tissues and make the points more receptive to stimulation. The real magic happens when you maintain consistency. I've observed that patients who practice this technique daily for at least 3 weeks start experiencing noticeable improvements. Some report increased energy within days, while others notice their joint mobility improving within the first 2 weeks. Let me share a practical tip that's helped many of my patients remember this routine. Link each point to a daily activity. The skull point with your morning coffee, the wrist point with your lunch break, and the ankle point with your evening routine. This way, it becomes a natural part of your day rather than another task to remember. The beauty of these touch points lies in their simplicity and accessibility. Unlike expensive treatments or complicated procedures, these points are always available to you. They're like having a reset button for your body's aging process, right at your fingertips. I've seen countless patients transform their lives using these techniques. There's Mary, who at 83 resumed her daily walks in the park. Thomas, 77, who rediscovered the joy of playing with his great-grandchildren. And Janet, 70, who finally got back to her passion for painting after years of hand stiffness. Remember, aging doesn't have to mean declining quality of life. These 3 points, at the base of your skull, on your inner wrist, and behind your ankle, can help restore vitality you thought was lost forever. The key is consistency and proper technique. Start with gentle pressure, gradually increasing as your body responds. Let me emphasize again, while these techniques are powerful, they work best when combined with proper hydration and regular movement. Think of it as giving your body's natural healing systems the best possible environment to work in. I've had patients ask me if it's too late to start. My answer is always the same. It's never too late. Your body's capacity for renewal is remarkable at any age. I've seen dramatic improvements in patients well into their 90s who were willing to give these methods a chance. The most rewarding part of sharing these techniques is hearing how they've helped people reclaim activities they thought were forever lost to them. Whether it's gardening, playing with grandchildren, or simply enjoying a pain-free walk, these simple touch points can help restore the joy of movement and vitality. Next week, I'll be sharing specific exercises that complement these touch point techniques for even more dramatic results. Until then, start incorporating these points into your daily routine. Be patient with yourself, and remember, small, consistent actions can lead to remarkable changes. Share this information with loved ones who might benefit. Everyone deserves to age with dignity and vitality. This isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years.